Hello, hello. All right, we're here. Welcome, welcome. All right. So, hey, we're going to be talking about single directory components today. So really excited about this one. Who here, just off the show of the hands right away, like who here has done anything with single directory components yet? We got some show of the hands, get show of hands.
Perfect.
Who here has liked doing it so far? So far? Okay.
Nice,
Oh, good.
okay.
Yeah,
This is
it's
great.
about the same hands. That's awesome.
Like it.
Now, a show of hands, who has not done anything with single directory components and wants to learn more? Okay, great.
That's everyone, right?
That's everyone over.
Hands
Okay.
up. Perfect.
Wonderful. Well, that means that this talk is for everybody because we're going to be getting into a lot of those different pieces, whether you've done it before, so already researched it, even started working in it, or haven't at all. So we're going to cover all those pieces. So welcome. All right. So with that said, let's see. Is this working? Cool. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Ready? Let's hear it from the crowd.
We're hollaback people over here. Are you ready? Yeah, I know we just had lunch. We got this. All right. Well, are you sure?
Yeah. There we go. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Well, very cool. I'm Josh, everybody. Good to
Hi,
meet
Josh.
you.
I'm Austin. Hello. Thank you.
And we're from a company called Hounder from the United States of America. Yes. Yes. We're so excited to be here. In fact, we traveled 6,000 miles to see your beautiful faces today.
That's a lot of miles, Josh.
It's a
Has
lot.
anyone traveled further than that to be here today? If so, we have a prize for you.
We have a double-walled Hounder thermos.
Yeah, it's a travel mug, so it's going
travel
to be
mug.
perfect for your trip home. Anybody
Yes.
travel over 6,000 miles to be here today?
Come on. Show
Come
of hands.
on. Anybody want to lie to us and tell us
Yeah.
you traveled over 6,000
Oh, what do we
miles to
got?
be here?
What do we got?
Where'd you travel from?
New York?
Someone's
Close.
got to be New York, right?
Close.
Anyone?
You're from what? Iran.
Wow.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Can anyone beat that? I don't even know.
I don't know. Seattle? Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's pretty much how far we traveled.
That's how far we traveled. Yeah.
All right.
I see what you're trying to do, Brett.
I see. I think you win. Yeah?
You know what? I'm going to give this to you from Iran.
Okay.
This is Iran.
Deal.
All right. Hey.
Sorry.
I
I tried.
you show up, you win prizes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nope.
Very cool. Well, so yeah, as we mentioned before, we are Hounder. Let me see if I can go back. That's okay. I don't think.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's a little
We got a
delayed.
delay. Hold on, everybody.
So if you haven't heard of us, we had a busy past 2 years. We're a small team.
We are.
Just 12 now.
12 people. Yes.
We're all US based.
Yes.
And we've had 4 developers, marketing team, we got designers, a
Yep.
lot of really awesome people.
Yeah. And
Here's the fam. You
Here's
can see
the
them.
fam. I miss them already. Just
I
looking
really
at
miss them too.
So
They're doing all of our work while we're gone.
Yeah, they're doing all our work. It's fantastic. So we're really, we're a bit different where we're a small team. We work hard to stay a small team. That's just a little bit about us. We like to kind of just be the right arm extension of any company that we get to work with. So that way it's just a small team. The people you talk to are the people they work with. You know, how about that for an idea, right? So that's a little bit about us and what we look like. And I know we're funny looking, so well, I won't put that picture on too long. We're also Acquia and Pantheon Partners of the Year, all that good stuff. We even have some partner peeps in here, some Acquia peeps. Good to see you all. Yeah, we love you. And then also, there's a little bit of delay. Let's see. There we go. So a little bit of the work we've done a lot with like Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. We are near the LA area, so we work a lot with them.
How big is that site, Josh?
So that's actually 2 million users a day.
That's
on that
crazy.
one.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Is that where I pay my bill?
That is where you
Okay,
pay your bill.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
That's nice.
And so that was a big one, and as well as working a lot with like Esri. Is anyone familiar with Esri? Global GIS company. They
Map
do a lot of work
fans.
here as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, so a lot of that there. And then there we go. And UL. Anyone heard of UL? That's another global compliance company. Yes, great. Yeah, we've done a lot of work with them with their websites. Moved over to Drupal a few years back, and just amazing people.
Can't beat them.
Yeah. So here's just a quick little snapshot more of folks we work with. We're so thankful to be able to work with a lot of groups, whether it be the U.S. based, several around the world and the globe in Europe. So this is our first time here in Europe, which is super exciting. We got to see clients we haven't actually saw in real life before. So this is really, really wonderful. Okay, here we go.
I'm ready.
Whew. Now, welcome to our TED Talk,
Welcome
everybody.
to the TED Talk, everyone.
Wait. Austin.
I'm sorry, the wrong slides. Okay. Welcome to the DrupalCon Talk. We're in Barcelona.
Yes. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to get into all of the SDC love here that you want to see. We're going to talk about the overall, like what it is, why it really exists, and also more than my favorite part is really what the future holds for it and what we're most excited about.
Yeah.
So if you don't know much about SDC, single directory components, we're going to show you that, and we're going to show you exactly what it looks like. We're going to show some code. We're going to just walk through it. But then we're going to get into more kind of exciting ideas as well as where this is going to take us.
That's my favorite part is really seeing, as this new thing is kind of in Drupal, single directory components have been around a long time in a lot of other frameworks. So I'm really excited to take some of those ideas that I love from my React days and excited to kind of share it with a lot of, Drupal developers and just to kind of showcase what people who have been using single directory components for a long time are capable of doing. And then I love AI, so we'll also have to talk a little bit about that.
Yes. Yeah. What's a 2024 talk without some AI, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So integration, when it comes to the integration with single directory components, well, basically how it got here at this point is it all started with the initial proposal, right? Planning to merge it into core. And the community feedback was just absolutely incredible with the Drupal community globally. The feedback that was brought back on how it should best be implemented and worked and integrated. And then it went all the way into like just a rigorous amount of testing, the documentation, and then it actually officially became in core in 10.3.
Yep, back in April.
Back in April, and now it is in Drupal 11 as part of core. So we're going to get we're going to kind of take that and then run with it in terms of what that means.
I think so, yeah. So what is SDC? We're talking single directory components. So this is a new to Drupal approach, right? For component-based development. This is not a new concept in development, right? Other frameworks have been using it for a long time. So this really allows developers to bundle all of our related files. So we're talking the templates, CSS, the JavaScript, YAML, Twig, all into a single directory, right? This really just streamlines the visual architecture of a project by having everything right there. You're not having to go track down the JavaScript, track down the CSS, and it's just everything right there, right? So overall, it just simplifies the maintenance, improves reusability, and enhances the overall development experience.
And which, as a developer, that's almost everything you're looking for.
Such an important thing. It's what I look for every day is, I get tired of writing the same code over and over and over again when I'm starting a new project. So I'm really looking forward to the day where I can kind of drop in a folder of predefined components that I've used, tested, and tried and true, and can just start a project off and really then just focus on the theming for that specific project I'm working on. And I think we're getting closer to that with this here.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we're going to do a quick little walkthrough of just kind of what it is and show it to you. If you haven't checked it out on Drupal.org, there's a fantastic walkthrough and components. So here you have a left and right component example.
Yep.
So we're going to just kind of showcase the file structure, right? So this all starts with the components folder. Then inside of it, we've got a folder. Left, right is what I'm calling the component today. And inside of there, we've got my YAML, my CSS, Twig. This is where you'd have your JavaScript, everything kind of regarding that component. Mm-hmm. Nothing too crazy, but you can see it's just encapsulating all of those different files that would be spread across your project and putting them into one specific spot. Right? Like I said, this concept isn't new, but it is new to Drupal, and I think it's really exciting to see it happen. And I've just started using it on 2 different projects, and I like it. It's not perfect, but I think it's exciting to see how it's going to grow and evolve.
Right, and we're going to even get into some of that too, in terms of like where we see that moving forward. Yeah, which is great. But and then obviously on the YAML side. Yeah,
so here we go. You can kind of see the structure. We got the names. This one is pretty straightforward. We're building that left-right example and kind of just passing different properties. We're defining those properties. You can put kind of a schema in here for IntelliSense. There's a lot of different options and opportunities here, but nothing you haven't seen before in the development you've been doing in Drupal. But once again, just where it's contained is going to be slightly new.
Yeah. As well as on the Twig.
Yep, so here we go. You can see the Twig kind of for a render of this. It's one of those things where, I debated trying to showcase building this in front of you and showcasing it and trying to make it cool. And then I realized, at the end of the day, it's really just a file structure and kind of changing the way we architect stuff. And I like the concept of it, and I like where we can go from here more than me trying to showcase hey, look at this. I built this file the same place you've already seen it. So
we tried to make a file structure look as cool as possible.
Yes, right. It was hard. It was hard.
Yes, thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
We tried.
We
tried.
did it.
But today we'll just talk about concepts and high-level ideas, right? To really kind of break down what we think can happen. So then we're going to have our CSS here. You can see, ooh, we've all written this left-right component for every website you've ever built, right? And I get tired of it, so I'm looking forward to ways to streamline this in the future, or hopefully build one that's going to be super accessible, meet all my needs, and really be a great starter template moving forward. All right, and then pretty much after that, you can just embed it, throw it. Here's one of the ways to do it. Once again, I imagine a lot of us are pretty familiar with the way we're going to showcase this with an embed here. And the biggest thing is, you're just taking the theme, then doing colon, and then the actual component name, right?
One second. There we go.
And then also, as using the component twig function, very similar. You can kind of see what's going on, passing the different props that we defined earlier in the YAML, and now we're going off to the races. You would just put this into a page override or wherever you want to display this component. And that kind of brings up one of my next issues, I think, where I just, kind of felt like, oh, this is almost everything I want, and hopefully in the future, it'll be everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, we have some really neat examples of what that can be.
Yeah.
So really, so that's what it is, right? And so what really makes it different, right? Right, Austin? What makes it different at this point? What's the benefit?
Yeah, so I mean, you can kind of see here, right? Unlike traditional Drupal theming, we've got a more module encapsulated approach. And this kind of goes back to my idea of how I want to develop stuff moving forward, where I can kind of have this starter template of components I pre-built maybe on other projects or just across on the side time, and really just have everything I want in a folder kind of ready to go, and I could just drop it into my single directory components folder.
Right.
And now I've got 3 or 4, 5, 6 components ready to roll. Right, and it's essentially just cleaning up my code, making it easy to pass to a coworker, and ensuring that they're going to understand what I'm doing. They're not going to have to go look for files, right?
Yeah, and the best thing too is anyone here working in just a team development environment? Anybody has a team? Yeah,
there we go.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. You now have your code and a structure that everyone's going to use, and that the team really just kind of defaults to.
Exactly.
Right? And therefore where everything is as a result. And that actually also adds to that other point of a big benefit here is that it actually allows you, because it's isolated, it allows you to actually have easier testing, really pinpoint any problems, because that file structure is all kind of continuous.
Exactly.
Right. And then lastly, on the overall, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but just the collaboration among the teams, because it's all organized, it's huge.
Yep.
Right. We all see that. So the big one is why overall, we kind of start to see the benefits, but let's just kind of put it down in a quick 1, 2, 3, 4.
Deal. So we're going to have streamlined content management, right? Everything's going to be encapsulated. It's going to, reduce load time potentially. We're going to, just see overall streamlining the process.
Yeah.
Enhanced visual presentation, right? I like to go to a project, want to know what I want to work on. It's all right there. Everything's included. Nothing crazy, but it's all there.
Yep, and our personal favorite.
Yep, improved developer experience, right? This is going to be great. This is more, like I said, this is what a lot of modern development has been doing outside of Drupal, and now it's just part of Drupal, and I think I'm excited to see what the different open source people here can do and create, because I know this community can really build some amazing stuff, and I think it's going to be pretty insane what we do.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get the opportunities for better performance scalability, just having cleaner code, right? Yep. You're never going to beat that.
Yeah, just the classic kind of value add there when you have that.
So
now our favorite part to really talk about, and really excited to hear from you as well. So this is going to be really, really interesting. But the future, now that we have what is single directory components in Drupal, it's now part of core, and there's this way that we can start to we see all the benefits to it. But knowing it's not perfect today.
Correct.
We're really going to talk more about where we see this going, and would love to get and there's some amazing things that people are already starting to do that we're going to share with you as well. Looking forward to hearing from you as well if there's anything you've been working on with it.
So here are some of my favorite module projects I've seen with single directory components, right? So we've got Story Generator, which is, if you're familiar with Storybook, this is essentially kind of a SDC storybook generator, which is super exciting. I haven't used this yet, but I've used Storybook in the past on other projects, and I'm excited to see how well it integrates and how well it works in the system, but super excited. Then for some actual better examples than just my left-right component, right? You've got SDC examples, which is great. It's a great example. You're going to see a bunch of different, I can't remember, I think there's 12 components in there, and you can kind of see what it's looking like, what people are doing with it. And then you've got the actual single directory components block, right? So this was actually one of my favorites, and I was going to pop it open if you haven't taken a look yet. So here you can see pretty much writing single directory components and then getting blocks for free. So this was something that, I was kind of hoping out the gate I was going to get. I really wanted to be able to write these single directory components and then either go to Layout Builder or something and just have that available to me, right? Which I know is not possible just yet, but this is a great module that I haven't used in practice a ton, but I have played around a little bit with it, where I can just write this component and then from there get an actual block and ready to go. Because that's the development style I like, where I can just,
Yes.
I really see the growth there. So this was awesome. I'm excited to play with it. If you haven't, please take a look at this. This is great.
Yeah, and huge shout out to Mateo here who did this, right?
Super excited.
But like just to kind of like unpack that a little bit more too, like so the module really lets you take single directory components like in the page itself and then boom, blocks right are there. Instead of having to go back and do that every single time over and over and over again as a developer, it just makes that much easier.
Correct. Yep.
Saving time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I got you out of the screen here, but so if you're not familiar, I gave a talk yesterday called Auto Alt on a project. This was my first time actually building a project that I was kind of passionate about, using AI to generate alt text, So that's going to, if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. Let me know. Like I said, I had no idea what I was doing when I was writing this module, but I know what I needed to do, and that was use AI to generate alt text, and it worked, which blew my mind, right? And I'm excited to have someone already contribute to it to help me understand what I was doing wrong and stuff. But that was kind of a point to segue into my next section here, which is kind of an exciting thing, where I want to talk about some stuff I've seen with single directory components kind of outside of Drupal. So this is kind of two tools that are pretty interesting, and I'm not sure how many Drupal developers have seen these, right? So ShadCN is a fantastic component library, and this is React. I know it's not going to be one for one anything, but I think there's some really exciting concepts that as a developer, I can really appreciate.
Yes.
So I kind of want to showcase some of these things. And then next, we'll see an AI integration of taking those same components and actually building layouts and templates and ideas with them.
Well, and I think that's what's so great too, from like a React development standpoint of taking best practices and things we've learned from as developers over the years of how to work smarter and being able to adapt that into the technology around Drupal, right? When it comes to Drupal development. So this is really the heartbeat behind that. So yeah, we're really interested to see what everyone thinks.
Yeah. So this is a pretty fun site. If you haven't checked it out, like I said, please check it out, ui.shadcn.com. And then here you can see I'm just clicked on components up here, and you can kind of see here the list of components, right? There's a lot of components here. And this is pretty cool for a lot of different reasons. But one of my favorite reasons, if I'm doing a side project, and I've done a few in the past on React, it was really nice because I knew that these components were already accessible, right? They're doing the best practices in a lot of ways. And sometimes I know as a developer, if you get too busy, that's sadly the first thing to go, right? You just lose time. And, when you're rewriting these components over and over again, sometimes you miss some simple steps that you shouldn't. So I kind of wanted to just showcase, let's see here, we'll just kind of pick one of these at random here. We'll do a carousel component. And something that I think is really interesting that I see a lot of potential here is you can kind of see here from this, I could just use a command line command, right, and install that component. So it's going to literally take that component from the library and just install it into my project. Once again, I know I'm talking React here to a bunch of Drupal devs, but I think this is a really cool way that we can utilize single directory components in the future, right, where we can just ideally, from the command line, install accessible, component, right? And it's going to pull all those files into our project. And it's not going to stop there. It's going to allow us to pass new props, build on top of these, right? These are just like blocks that we're going to grow and expand on. And I think that's super important. And then you can kind of see here, where they're just then importing the component they just installed to utilize them in a project here. So I know this code probably looks crazy and foreign to you, but I really just wanted to showcase the ease of use where you're literally from the command line installing these components, getting them there, you have full access to style them, and they're already accessible and ready to go, which is amazing when you're talking, building the 100th carousel in your career.
Right. I mean, it's exactly. And I think in a room of developers a week, we could always just say, like, that's the thing, like those types of right left content and carousels, right? Those are things we just constantly are building all the time. To think of a world where we can go ahead and just put it in the command line and boom, your component shows up. Is there even a way that you could show that too, like even just from that demo at the top?
Well, yeah, so here you can kind of see like, right, so we're talking the carousel component I clicked on, and here you can see a preview, it's working, right? And then you could easily change even the style here in this editor, but here you go, you can see the actual code and the different paps and how it's, props and how it's mapping over the different card array. And it's just pretty sweet to see how easily this code was created. And I really think this is going to be something with single directory components in Drupal where we can ideally, one point, right, just kind of from either the command line, utilize a component library and get components that are kind of ready to go and be hopefully, a layup to your project.
Yes, and just making the developer's life that much better.
Correct.
Right? As well as streamlining your code as a result too, because you're all just using the same library, right?
Exactly. I think that could help, and I think there's amazing people here in this room, especially, and that would love to contribute to different projects like this.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of a fun one. Like I said, I can't talk without utilizing AI just a little bit in 2024. So if you're not familiar, v0.dev it's related to shadcn in the sense this is owned by Vercel, the hosting platform. But I think this is a really cool interface because essentially you can take, text here and then generate components. Or really generate layouts and ideas, right? So as a developer, I am not the most creative person. I love when my designer gives me everything I need and then I could go copy that. And this is a really helpful tool when you know what you want to see, but you're not really the most creative person. And you could just, in plain English, or even show images to this of what you want. So you can scribble on a page what exactly you're looking for. And then this integrates with that shadcn component library and sucks in the components, and it's ready to go. It's pretty fun. So let's just see here.
Does anyone want to even bring anything up?
Anyone have a little prompt they want me to throw into here to see what it comes up with, like a specific layout or anything that you build a lot of and you want to see AI kind of help it with?
Do it.
Anyone? No. Danny's got an idea. Yeah, you can't think of anything. Okay, fine. So we'll do kind of a basic 3-card layout. We want icons on top. We'll do like a bullet points and a call to action on the bottom. Right? We've all built this.
You did that without any on point, without any spelling errors. That's amazing.
I'm pretty good at typing. What can I say? So you can see here, this is utilizing those same components, and you can kind of see here how it's importing them. You can see the component UI button. Oh, let's go back to here. You can see the card component it's brought in, and then it's brought in some icons from Lucid React. But I think the biggest thing here that's really exciting is you can kind of see how it's created this for me. And we got a fun little error. But you can just see how quickly it's utilizing pre-existing, predefined components, pulling them in, and kind of showing you what you got here. And then from here, you're kind of off to the races of building your next thing. So I think this is a super exciting kind of development of how, it's not really, taking much from, taking my job as much as it's helping me do what I've already done 100 times in a streamlined, more efficient, faster way.
It's automating those things so you don't have to just keep doing it over and over.
Exactly.
Working smarter, basically.
Yeah. So I thought that's really cool.
Yeah. So basically overall, just taking what is single directory components that we just all went through and what that can be for the future and how we can utilize it and make life easy in our day-to-day lives.
That's all I hope for. I want to make my life easier as a developer every day, and it's fun to use new tools to make that happen.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. So any questions? Any questions about this? Yes, sir.
I don't know. Yeah, is that
let me pass it to you maybe.
There you go.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. It was really great. Yeah. And have you guys seen Radix theme?
Yes.
Yeah, and also has CLI and everything. So we could have done that.
I could have done that. I think it's something someone mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and also great documentation, so they say.
Perfect.
So you can just copy paste and
exactly,
it works,
which is super exciting. I'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Questions? Okay, we got a few more here. I'm just going to start round robin. I'm going to go right there, and then you're next. Okay. Oh, maybe that can work. Okay.
We'll try it.
Let's
see.
No hot mic? Do we got a mic over here, everybody? No? Here, I'll give you.
Just kidding.
We thought we'd give it a shot.
Hi, thank you for the talk. I was just wondering, what's the future for front-end tooling with the single directory components? Like Webpack, SAS?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like not my strongest expertise. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not too sure.
Yeah, in terms of like web tools and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it's, I'm not really sure either, but it could be, I mean, we can see that the future is bright, though, with having that organized structure where everyone's just using it that way. I mean, it's, like we said, it's not a foreign concept to development, but it is in terms of Drupal, right? And now that it's merged part of core, I think this is where we really see, the innovation of the community as well. But yeah, great question. I think that's something that we're all kind of thinking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, nice presentation. I have one question. So when you show the embed there, is it possible to do something like create like a design library? Say like I have some components that are plain buttons, and then I reuse them in the templates. Is it possible with the way single direct component works at the moment?
Yeah, I believe in your actual twig for the component, you can then like reference and embed in there.
Nice.
Button element, right, is what you're thinking?
Yeah. For example,
exactly, right.
buttons or.
That's always the situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And another one. Some components they will need some pre-processing with hooks, things like that. Currently, do you place them where, like on the .module file, on the .theme file?
I think currently I've only done on theme file, but like I said, I'm actively using them in 2 new projects right now. So my experience is, pretty low on utilizing them in a lot of different ways. But that's what I've currently done on the little bit I've done. Yeah.
Awesome, great question. Yeah. Here you go, let me get you this mic.
So we use storybook, and we use atomic design. So I'm trying to figure out why should we use this instead of the setup we have right now with the team, because when we need to build a new website or whatever, I just take the storybook and just put it on the team and just
Yeah, I think the integration would be pretty similar. Like it wouldn't be replacing it; it would just be like utilizing it alongside. This is really going to just change your folder architecture of like where the files are going to be sitting, right? So you still can use Storybook and utilize those same kind of functions you're doing, but just having all the component files inside of a component directory.
Right. Yeah, that's the big difference. Yeah. Cool. Anybody? Any other questions? Yeah, in the back.
Is it possible to have a single component somehow extend another single project component? For example, you can
Like a folder within a folder?
without having to kind of get the live component.
I think so. Were you able to hear that as well, Austin?
Not
Okay,
too.
here.
Yeah.
Here,
Sorry.
let me. No, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, so the question was, is it possible to extend single directory components so you could have one component which extends a second one and then,
Yeah.
so it kind of transparently extends on top of it?
Yeah, from my experience, we've been able to do like the button, kind of what we were mentioning earlier with the button inside of like a card, or like using it as a call to action. So let's say you have a card component that references then the button component.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
Any more? Any other ones? Any other ones? Danny, you're not. You're just scratching your head, right? Okay,
Okay.
got you. All right. Well, hey. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining the talk.
Wait,
And-
Josh, we forgot. We brought some goodie bags,
forgot.
right? At first, we thought, okay, we're going to have this small, intimate conversation with a few people. So I was like hand packing all these bags. And then I came to the stage and realized I didn't bring enough for everyone.
So
My mom
now
would be
we're
disappointed.
going to do this fun social experiment.
Yeah.
Where there's only maybe half of the bags and just see who gets them.
Yeah.
Basically, we'll see what happens. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Feel free though. If you have any more questions, please
Come on up, say
grab
hey,
it.
grab some coffee. If you haven't seen our booth already, I've been slinging coffee for
Yeah.
the past 2 days. I'd love to serve all of you coffee in this room if I had the opportunity. If not, take some of the instant coffee I brought. But thanks so much for coming out and listening to us ramble about some, single directory components.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Appreciate it.